Senator John Dolan.
All my life, I have attempted to support people with various challenges, many of whom have had to make difficult decisions at times of crisis in their lives. For the most part, people in my experience make good and sound decisions that are not self-serving. Over and over, I've seen families pull together to give somebody who is disabled the best opportunity for a decent life. It's mostly the mother, the female partner, or the daughter who is core to that ongoing effort. I ask myself, how can I realistically not trust women on this issue? We have a duty as legislators, all 218 of us, the majority of whom are male, to support women as part of the electorate to be in the decision-making process. For instance, we trust family carers, 2/3 of them are women, to make very challenging and difficult decisions 24/7. Changing slightly, one practical but essential area in all of this is to continue to improve our services. Timely information and non-directive counselling, along with the range of readily available practical services, are critical as people struggle with this most difficult decision. We don't in Ireland have a class of people called, well, not anymore, the disabled. We have people who also live with a disability. People with disabilities, their loved ones, family and friends are keenly interested and have a big stake in this debate. They're listening to it. They also need to be heard in it and to be better heard in it. How will they hear references to people with disabilities? How have they so far heard references to people with disabilities? And I'm not talking here about what we might call political correctness. I'm asking that references to disability from all quarters respect the sensitivities and the full humanity of those who have a disability. And indeed the same equally goes for women who have terminated a pregnancy and those close to them. Let's please have debate in the Shannon and beyond that respects the immense challenges that women have faced in the past, are this day facing and will face in the future. How we speak here and our demeanour needs to be sensitive, thoughtful and respectful. Thankfully, there are decision assisting processes, I'll call them, now available that we didn't have in 1983. We have the Referendum Commission. We have the Working Report of the Citizens' Assembly. We have the All-Party Oireachtas Committee report. We have determinations of our courts. And generally speaking, in a catch-all way, we have greater access to information and availability of views and perspectives than we would have had in the past. We also have the learning as to how we conducted ourselves last time out. It remains to be seen, but I'll be hopeful that we managed to, all of us, behave in a respectful and dignified manner, regardless what our strongly held views are. Coming back to us as legislators, we're constantly called on, it's our work, to make judgments in the public interest. On this occasion, we have the possibility of sharing some of that decision-making with the public through us coming to a decision to hold a referendum and to support that process well. In other areas as legislators, we make many decisions to choose or not to choose, and they have profound outcomes and consequences for people. The making and enforcement of road traffic regulations, health and safety, regulatory and other standards. If you take finance and banking regulation, who can state that what I'll simply call shortfalls across those areas have not hugely caused negative outcomes for people, shortened and even ended people's lives? So our responsibility about life and death issues is part and parcel of all our work here. How we plan and deploy our health service budget is another case. Choices get made. Here we have an issue where it's difficult to have debate and consideration in a dispassionate and open way, and yet it's an issue that is about each of us in a very personal way. We all have been close to the core issues here, or some have been at the centre of them. Yet this information, these insights are not readily available. It's interesting this evening to hear people talk in a way that I haven't heard before about their own experiences in and around this issue, and I think that is really helpful and I appreciate it. For me, this requires that I strive to act and speak in a non-judgmental way and in a trusting way. This requires me to attribute the best of motives regardless of the positions that others adopt. Cathaoirleach, there is no place for assertions that ascribe or suggest criminal or immoral conduct to others because they take a counter-course. Getting the best decision, which may not be the idyllic decision, getting the best decision requires more listening, more reflection and less pronouncements. Regardless of what decisions, and indeed regardless of what decisions are made this year, this deeply human question remains, and the trauma surrounding it will remain for people. The people of Ireland, their courts and their Oireachtas will be returning to this matter in some way or other in a lot less time than another 35 years. There's no doubt about that. How we collectively and respectfully debate this matter will determine how well we progress from here to make the best decision we can that is faithful to the common good and in time help us to make further decisions. We now as never before, and the echoes of this and what's been said by many earlier, we now as never before must consciously make decisions as a democracy. Decisions about things that did not surface before for a whole range of reasons, and decisions that we effectively left to religious leaders or other proxy decision makers. We have to all be counted now. How we deal with this is an indication of our ability to develop as a democracy where we progressively give better expression to the fundamental rights that we gave to ourselves in our Constitution. It is important not to be consumed or overwhelmed by this issue, while it is still an extremely serious one. I trust Irish women and families to consider the possibilities of abortion very sensitively into the future, just as they do today. This has never been, is not, and never will be an easy decision for women, irrespective of the circumstances or the improvements that we make. Over the years, we have built or sustained obstacles. Cultural obstacles, that's a nice term for it, political ones and practical ones. These have made it so difficult for women to come to the decision which was best in the particular circumstances. This is wrong, and we can do better, and we have the possibility of doing better. I come to a conclusion, Cathaoirleach. Fair enough?
1 minute.
I'm the man in the group, I'll be all right in time. I want Irish women to be able to make difficult decisions about matters which are currently impacting or will impact on their lives. For this reason, let me say in conclusion, it is my intention to vote yes to the removal of the 8th Amendment and therefore make way for the participation of the public in shaping our law and practice on this matter.
Thank you very much, Senator.